stream. So in today's stream, we will be discussing a lot of stuff. We will be discussing Maddison. We will be discussing the latest on Cedric, the latest on Bellerin. We will be discussing the latest on Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey. So we'll be going for around 40 minutes. Make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. And yeah, make sure to follow Zoom Omar on Twitter. I'll have his link in the description as well. And yeah, Zoom, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just, counting down the days to the end of the transfer window and the beginning of the new season. And I just want to be more excited than I am right now. But overall, I'm all right, man.
You're getting worried, right?
Yeah, I am a little bit.
Awesome. So the first thing we'll be talking about is James Maddison. So obviously, the story is there. It will be there until August 31st, probably, when we probably get the deal done at the final minute and stuff. So the latest news is that Arsenal are offering Leicester City a swap deal. Ketty has been mentioned, Nelson has been mentioned, Willock has been mentioned, Willian has been mentioned. So Leicester, though, Leicester wants 70 million cash straight up. So which one do you think it's a good idea to try a swap deal? Do you think any of our players are good enough for Leicester to accept?
I'd say maybe Joe Willock would be an interesting signing for them in the number 8 role, but they already have someone like Yuri Tillemans there, so still they're going to need some sort of replacement. And if you give them a player plus cash deal, in my opinion, obviously as an Arsenal fan, and of course it's a biased opinion, a Joe Willock out of those 3 would be the most enticing. But you see, Joe Willock plays in a very counter-attacking team. He plays well in a very counter-attacking team. He might not suit Leicester's style of play. Plus, Leicester probably have other targets. Leicester probably have other people in mind that they want to spend the money on. And right now, they probably need some more cash, considering they're going to need to find a replacement for Wesley Fofana after his horrible injury last night. So I don't know. I think overall, what's going to happen at the end of the day is these guys are they're gonna ask for 70 million. They're not gonna budge in the same way that Brighton didn't budge on Ben White, and it's gonna come late in the window, but we'll complete the transfer.
Yeah, very, very true. So 70 million pounds, would you be willing to pay it? Or is it too much for you?
No, I don't care about the price tag anymore. I genuinely don't, because Lukaku's about to go to Chelsea for 120 million. Jack Grealish for 100 million. So if we look at it that way, is James Maddison 30 million less in quality compared to Jack Grealish? I'd say that's unfair, because I think James Maddison is almost as good as Jack Grealish, So one way of looking at it is maybe he's worth even 90 if Jack Grealish is 100M. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think the sources seem to be very, very credible right now, because first of all, I think it came out with AFC Bell, right? And that group of what, I don't know who it is, but like the person behind that group, that page rather, suggested that he was very interested in coming, would give him a much better package, much higher salary. I think doubling his salary. That would be interesting. And the thing is, he's 24, so he also fits that age profile. Premier League proven. We've discussed this before, but at the end of the day, I feel like he's a statement signing. It's gonna get the crowd going. It's gonna maybe revitalize the squad as well, because it's gonna do a number of things. It's gonna also protect ESR, Emil Smith Rowe, from the pressure that he's under right now, considering he's our main attacking threat in terms of creativity. So I'm happy. I'm happy with it. If we do sign him, I'm happy with it.
Do you think it will protect Smith Rowe from the pressure, or will it take away a lot of game time for him?
I think Emil Smith Rowe will do really well to play off the left-hand side. And then maybe we can start off Aubameyang up top, because now we have midfielders who can create chances for him that put him through on goal, or get to the byline, and he can play that poacher role more often. Sometimes you feel like Lacazette needs to drop deep because the attacking midfielders aren't doing that enough, or they have different instructions. So if you have James Maddison in there and he likes to drop deep, and Emil Smith Rowe, Bukayo Saka, or Pepe, that's a very healthy mix. So I think it takes off the pressure, and it also protects him in terms of game time. Sorry, that's my cat. So it protects him from being overworked. Emil Smith Rowe has had injury problems, and he missed a few games last season because of injuries, and he's young. You never know when that could happen again. You never know when he could suffer in form as well. Young players tend to have dips in form. So having someone like James Maddison to rely on more prominently, I think that would be better for us.
Awesome. So 70 million for James Maddison, I say the same as well. I would have paid it a long time ago. I actually don't think any of the players we're offering them are good enough. I don't think they need someone like an Niles, because they already have capable midfielders and capable right backs with Castagne, Pereira. They have capable fullbacks. I don't think they'll need Nketiah. They just signed a striker. They have Vardy. They have Iheanacho there as well. So I don't think any of the players we're offering them are any taste at all. So maybe he'd have been offering them the likes of Aubameyang and players like that. That's when they'd have taken him. So Maddison, 70 million. Let's hope we get it done very soon. Do you think we can get it done before the Premier League starts, or do you think this is something that will carry on until August 31st deadline day?
I don't know. It looks like it's gonna go on after the Premier League starts. It's gonna continue. Because it's a big signing, and the thing is, I worry that Arsenal might be playing the late signing in the transfer window. You know how you wait until later in the transfer window to make a deal, and then you try and get a bigger, or rather negotiate a better deal. I don't think that's going to work with Leicester City, because they've made it clear they don't need the cash. And that's why they won't budge on like 60 million. They won't budge. They won't say, nah, okay, here's 60 million. And then they'd say, okay, yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you very much. Have James Maddison. I don't think it's going to happen. So I think
with Maguire and the players
exactly,
like Maguire,
exactly. They're very hard sellers, and they have a very rich owner. So the guy from Thailand, I can't remember his name, but he's wealthy. They don't need the cash. And the thing is, they sell smart. They sell smart. So I don't know, man. I hope it gets done before, because then if we're talking about before the Premier League starts, that's next week Friday. So that's in about a week's time, just a little over a week's time. So, but I don't see that happening. Arsenal aren't good negotiators right now. And the thing is, you keep hearing we need to sell players before we bring them in. If we'd already sold maybe 2 or 3, or maybe even just 2, like maybe Kolasinac or WILLIAN or Cedric, the guys we're going to talk about in a bit, then I'd be more confident because then you free up some finances. But I don't see it happening until the end of the transfer window.
After we've already faced a City that has Grealish and probably Kane, after we've already faced a Chelsea that could have Lukaku. And I mean, I usually don't like when you do our transfers like that. After 3 games, that's 9 points. If you take 1 point from those 9, you are already 6 points behind Chelsea, already 5 points behind Tottenham, already 8 points behind City, and you're already chasing. And then we start panic buying. Then we have to chase from the start. We're already out of the title race by September, already out of the top 4 race by October. I actually don't like that approach.
I hear you, but you see, like I said last time, I don't mind if that's necessary, right, to get our targets. If they feel like that's a necessary tactic to employ, and not necessarily the panic buying, because that's not a tactic, that's a backup plan. But the rest of these teams, they need to get their players in early because they have European obligations. We don't. So they need to integrate their players sooner because they won't have time to do that, as much time to do that during the course of the season. So for me, it's like, okay, we might lose some points. That's inevitable. I don't think we're going to beat Man City. I don't think we're going to beat Chelsea anyway. And I wouldn't be talking about a title race in September, especially not the amount of spending.
We beat them home and away last season. We beat Chelsea home and away last season.
Yeah, I know, but they're transforming, and we need to transform, and right now we haven't transformed enough. That's my point. But I agree. You'd rather get them in as soon as possible, get people really hyped for the new season, and James Maddison is already training, so if you get him, let's assume things happen quickly over the weekend, and we sign him maybe sometime in next week, like Tuesday or Wednesday. He should be eligible to play for us, or at least even be on the bench with Xhaka.
Yeah.
For Brentford away, and then maybe even start for us against Chelsea. So, and the thing is, we lost Partey. So yeah, we'll do a Chelsea preview. We'll do a Brentford preview. I'd imagine. So yeah, let's stick to the James Maddison transfer. Like I said, 70 million. I don't really care about the price tag. People suggest he's not worth it. People suggest that maybe Martin Odegaard is better, but nah, I think James Maddison wanting to come to Arsenal despite us not having European football, and knowing that we're going to pay him better, and obviously the tradition of the historical status of the club, I'm actually quite happy with that. That would be amazing, and I think he's going to have a very similar impact to Aubameyang that he had with Vardy. So it's going to benefit Aubameyang as well quite a bit.
Yeah, those through balls and stuff. Because for me, Maddison compared to Odegaard, you cannot compare the two. I pointed out the fact that a person who can carry the ball for you, forget about the creativity. You see how De Bruyne, I saw De Bruyne, I think Belgium, I think they lost the game at the Euros, where he was taking the ball literally from his own half and running with it to his half and giving Lukaku the pass.
Very good point.
I see players like Mount can do that. I don't think Odegaard can do that. I think he prefers waiting in the number 10 position for those cheeky passes, but someone to carry the ball like Rich.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Because Emil Smith Rowe is a ball carrier, but he doesn't have the added vision or creativity that James Maddison has. I think the only stat that Martin Odegaard had over James Maddison was passes into the box. Now, passes into the box aren't necessarily through passes. They could be to feet, which I feel like, just off the top of my head, that's what Martin Odegaard was doing quite a bit. But I'm not saying he didn't have enough through passes. He did. But yeah, I think James Maddison is a better profile. Martin Odegaard still comes in with a lot to prove, whereas James Maddison, you already know what you're getting. So yeah, I'd be happy. Plus, James Maddison scores goals, man. He scores free kicks. Martin Odegaard is not a great set piece taker so far. Like, he still needs to add that to his skill. So yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up. Goals. Odegaard scored a couple of bangers last season. Let's be honest. I know against was it Olympiacos or Benfica, one of those teams? Yes, and very good goal against Tottenham. But how often can you do that? We definitely need goals from midfield. We do not score goals from midfield. I mean, Guendouzi, 0 goals. 1 goal at Arsenal for 2 seasons. Torreira, 1 goal. Xhaka, 1 good free kick per season. We never score goals. Odegaard is not a goal scorer. Maddison would add that transition from defense to attack, those goals, those set pieces. I always count how many corners we get per game. It's usually like almost 10 corners per game, and almost like one of them end up with us actually heading the ball. So Maddison, with that accurate free kick, accurate corners, we might benefit from that. So for me, I'm thinking that is not even Maddison. I've seen people comparing Maddison and Odegaard, and I think that is absolutely crazy. I think Maddison is the kind of guy you just go for, because I don't think any deal like this will ever avail itself ever again. Do you think Maddison would be available again for us, like in January, for example?
No, I don't, of course not, especially not with this COVID market. And the thing is, remember the report from Chris Wheatley on Football London? He mentioned that there's another London club looking to sign Maddison as well, who also offered a player plus cash deal. And I think that's probably Tottenham. If you think about it, that's probably Tottenham. So
I'd be very disappointed if you joined Tottenham ahead of Arsenal.
Yeah, so I'd be very annoyed as well. And yeah, man, listen, James Maddison raises the profile of this team. And he gives Arteta the option of being able to play in a 4-3-3 as well, because apparently he likes playing in a 4-3-3. I've seen the video interview that he did, and also I read it somewhere online that he would rather play as an 8 because he likes receiving the ball deep inside his own half, or maybe deep in midfield. So yeah, man. Let's hopefully it gets done. Let's keep an eye out on Chris Wheatley. Let's keep an eye out on how Arsenal maybe move guys like Cedric, and that we're going to talk about right now, because I think that's going to have a telling impact on how we move for guys like James Maddison and maybe even Lautaro Martinez. So yeah,
I think this would be a statement signing. I know Partey was a good signing. I know Aubameyang was a good signing, and Lacazette was a good signing. But I think the last very, very good signing we made, like an impact signing, was Ozil, like in terms of big name. I think Maddison would have that kind of impact at Arsenal. Like it change everything for us, basically. So Arsenal, we always mention names, Awar here, Maddison here, this one there, but we end up staying with the ones that we have. There are 50 people watching on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure to smash the like button as we go to the next topic. We expect a lot, but we end up with people like Xhaka staying at Arsenal. So I remember when he did the show like 3 weeks ago, it was looking like he was about to leave after his holiday, but actually here to stay. So the first question for you is, do you think we're keeping Xhaka because he was very important in our team last season, or do you think we are keeping him because Roma did not offer enough money and there's no other team that wants him? Which one is it?
I think it's both. Xhaka was, you have to give credit. I mean, yeah, he made those annoying mistakes versus Burnley and whatnot, but at the end of the day, he was our most consistent player. And even when Partey was unavailable or fit or had bad games, Xhaka was the only one who was really consistent. He played the most minutes, I believe, throughout the club, even more than Bernd Leno, apparently. That's mad.
Very durable, yeah.
Yeah, so listen, I don't mind Xhaka staying if we still bring in a central midfielder. Another central midfielder, and then we allow the likes of Torreira and Mohamed El Neni to go, because your squad is stronger having Xhaka as a squad player than El Neni as a squad player, right?
Yeah, that is.
If you bring in that central midfielder, but if you don't, and then you still have Xhaka, Partey, maybe a James Maddison now, maybe a Lokonga. Lokonga might bring something different and might end up benching Xhaka, by the way. So it's not all doom and gloom. Arteta likes him. The players like him. I don't mind him staying. But it's just, how underwhelming would it be if we actually start against Brentford with Xhaka and Neni?
Yeah, it would be. That's the same squad we've been starting with the last 6 years. So there's no difference, basically. And I'm thinking they're planning to do that because they're underestimating Brentford. Because I've seen people saying, you know what, we can work with this one against Brentford and then try and get players later.
I hope not. I wouldn't be surprised if Lokonga starts, because Lokonga's had a very impressive preseason. He like, this guy was intense. He was physical. He was technically quite good as well. He gave some very good passes, penetrative passes. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lokonga actually starts over El Neni, right? Versus Brentford. We've seen Unai Emery do it with Guendouzi, and this guy is the captain of his club. He looks a much better suited player to the Premier League than Guendouzi, right? Remember how Guendouzi likes throwing himself to the floor every single time a challenge comes in?
Fighting everyone.
You just see a mop, on the floor now. So Lokonga might start. I hope he does, for the sake of just the new identity of the team. But Xhaka staying, and the thing is, what I don't like about this report is, excuse me, they say that we're giving him a contract until 2026. That's a 4-year contract. He's currently 28. He's turning 29 soon, and 4-year contract. That means we're gonna have Xhaka for the next until 33, 32. That's mad. Yeah. That's crazy. So why would we do that? Because if someone was to try and explain it and maybe defend the club by saying that they're protecting his value, it would be harder to sell Xhaka if he has 3 years left on his contract rather than 2.
2, yeah. So again, same question again. Why are we keeping Granit Xhaka? Are we keeping Granit Xhaka because he's a very good player, or are we keeping him because there's no other team that wants him? Do you think if he was at Liverpool or City, he would have stayed for all those years?
No, I don't think so. And the thing is, they're talking about a small pay increment, increment in his salary. So does that maybe suggest that he won't necessarily be a squad, like a starting player, or more likely a squad player, or maybe he'll be a starting player this season, but then next season a squad player, and maybe he's happy to do that?
Is a starter. I can confirm that for you. If he stays, he's a starter.
It depends, you never know. I mean, at some points we thought Willian and Pepe deserved more game time than Saka and these men, but then the youngsters came through, and Lokonga might do something similar to that effect. But yeah, I think you're right, because he not only holds experience playing for Arsenal, but also he's one of the most experienced players in the club. So yeah. Anyway, I'm a bit underwhelmed by that him staying. It looks like he's going to sign probably this week, maybe even before the weekend. But if it means that El Neni and Torreira go, maybe even Joe Willock, then that's fine, as long as we bring in extra central midfielders. Because in my opinion, getting the right partner for Partey is the most important thing. The right partner, even though Xhaka is a good partner, right? Wouldn't you say so? That Xhaka is a good partner for Partey?
He's an okay partner. I've always said Xhaka and Wilshere did not work. Xhaka and Ramsey did not work. Xhaka and Guendouzi did not work. Xhaka and Torreira did not work. If we replaced everyone that has played with Xhaka, what does that mean? Who is the problem?
The common denominator. That's a very good point, to be honest. But maybe the right profile, wasn't there. But I mean, already you're getting. I don't want to be too hopeful, but you saw Lokonga. He makes these passes that Xhaka isn't willing to make. Xhaka would much rather pass it out to the wing to Tierney, and maybe that's why we keep playing Xhaka in that way. But I don't know. I'm not too disappointed. I'm not too disappointed. I'm just moderately disappointed. But as long as we bring in another central midfielder, so we can't really judge Xhaka staying until the end of the transfer window. We can't really give our full analysis until we see what else we do in the window. So yeah.
So another reason why we might not see Xhaka and Partey is because will we even see Partey? It looks like he gets injured after every 2 games, and that is very, very concerning. So the other day, obviously, it was an impact injury. It wasn't like a muscle injury stuff. He was actually fouled, and I think his leg was caught up and stuff. So is this worrying for you? Do you think we might have to deal with Partey playing just 20 games in a Premier League season?
No, I'm not too worried about this particular injury. See, if it was one of those muscular injuries that Ramsey used to have, his hamstring or whatever, then I'd be more concerned. This is an impact injury, and that's how we should take it. And the thing is, the diagnosis so far is that it's not even as bad as first thought. They thought he was going to miss maybe 6 to 8 weeks, because you know how ankle ligaments can take long, especially the way it looks bent in that image. Or if you had seen that image prior to this episode. But yeah, I'm not too concerned. And the thing is, he's what, 27, 28? It's his first full season. That could have happened to anyone. That ankle ligament injury could have happened to anyone. At the same time, it makes you think: is it a good idea to play Tottenham or Chelsea before our season starts? Because there were a number of challenges during that game that seemed very strong. There were strong challenges, maybe intentionally strong from Chelsea players. But at the same time, it can happen when you're not even playing any of your rivals, like the way it happened to Fofana versus Villarreal. So you just have to take it on the chin. Imagine if it was like a Fofana injury.
Yeah, that one is terrible. I do not understand why people make such kind of tackles in friendly matches. And Chelsea did it on purpose. They saw our players getting fouled every single time. And I understand I understand they're trying to raise money for a good cause. That's fine. But playing Tottenham and Chelsea, those are not friendly matches, man. Those are serious matches. I can tell you this weekend, there's no one who wants to lose to Tottenham. We do not want to lose to Tottenham, friendly or not. So that's the latest on Xhaka. Do I expect him to start the first game of the season? Definitely. Did he do good for us last season? Yes. Did he make less mistakes than he has before? Of course. Has he relax on picking up silly yellow cards every single time? He has, but we're already used to Xhaka. Can he bring anything different all of a sudden? Unless we change everything that is around him. We change Maddison ahead of him. We change someone else on the left. We change someone else on the right. But either way, it's looking like we're going to start the season with the same kind of players. So before we go into the last couple of topics, let's read a few comments. See, Saka says hi. Sam says hi. Toure says hi. Saka says, I think Willock is leaving for 25 million.
Sorry?
Can we get 25 million for him?
For who?
Willock.
It looks. I've read some reports that we're considering it. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah.
Apparently, Newcastle, they're always struggling with budget, but they're willing to spend the majority of that budget bringing in Willock. And I wouldn't be surprised if we sell him for like 20 million plus, maybe 3 in add-ons.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get some good money for him. Ray says we need to transform like Megatron. He looks like someone has been watching Transformers early morning.
Yeah.
Emma says Imar, I think it's Imar. Big money moves. Madders, Martinez, Bruno Guimaraes, Max Aarons. I don't think we'll sign that many players. I actually don't think we'll sign a right back. I'm sticking with that. So another question for you, because I've seen people saying we need Martinez instead of Maddison. I've had people saying it's Aubameyang and Lacazette who are the problem. We need Martinez. If Martinez comes, we'll sort our problems out. So if you had the choice, 70 million for Martinez or 70 million for Maddison, who do you think is the one that will change everything for us immediately?
I think both, to be honest, because what people don't understand about Martinez is he's not a out and out striker.
Yeah.
He's more a center forward. He reminds me of Alexis Sanchez. With the way, because you never thought Alexis Sanchez could like create chances and put in amazing through passes. He could just do everything. And Sanchez, whenever he dribbled past players, he always looked like he was about to lose the ball, but he somehow gets it back in a very Suarez kind of way. That's how Lautaro Martinez, very that South American tenacity. So like Lautaro Martinez has the same thing, in my opinion. He has that grit, but at the same time, he has quite a bit of skill. He's more of a link player, but maybe Arteta sees something different. Like, for example, remember when we brought in Thierry Henry? He was a winger, but Arsene Wenger transformed into a striker. Maybe Arteta thinks he can transform Lautaro into the striker that he needs, into an Aguero kind of player, not necessarily a link player. Because if you look at his best moments versus, in the Serie A and whatnot, you see him being almost the hold-up player, the pivots in that number 10 role. He drops deep, So I think I'd be more surprised if we bring him in and we exclude James Maddison. Like, I don't think it's one or the other. I think it's both. But we need to make quick moves on Lautaro Martinez because Chelsea are offering big money, and I don't think they're going to sell Martinez if Chelsea managed to acquire the services of Romelu Lukaku. So we need to move very quickly.
If they actually managed to get Lukaku, that was good. Lukaku was this same Lukaku was at Chelsea 7 years ago. This is an improved Lukaku. It's not even the same Lukaku who was playing at United like 4 or 5 years ago. It's a different Lukaku.
Yep.
So every team is making statement signings. United have gone for their targets, Sancho and Varane. Chelsea could get Lukaku. PSG have gotten Hakimi. Tottenham could probably go for someone else. City could still get Grealish and Kane. So we need someone like a Maddison to also have a statement signing. Ray says Lokonga starts versus Brentford, does well, and we all get excited. Then he gets battered against Chelsea and City. Is that a possibility? Too early to throw him in against Chelsea?
No, it's not too early, bro. This is a Premier League club. We've done it with Matteo Guendouzi, and I think Lokonga has more to offer. So put Lokonga in, man.
Okay, Toure says it doesn't matter if we sign Maddison for 70 million. He is our priority signing that can make us great and challenge for trophies. We signed Ben White for 50 million, who is not a top target. Please, at this do this so we can be a great again. So it doesn't matter how much, basically saying whether it's 70 million, whether it's 90 million, we need to pay up the money. So will we be able to pay up the money with the cash from Kroenke, or do we have to sell players? And the next player we're going to talk about is a player that surprisingly we could end up selling. Today, the news that is emerging is that Cedric and Kolasinac could both join Ozil at Fenerbahce. Do you think, first of all, Cedric, would you keep him? Do you think he's a good backup, or you've seen enough of him the last 16 months?
If we're letting him go, then I think, as long as we bring in someone, that's fine. But I'd rather have Cedric than Bellerin. You saw Bellerin in his first impact versus Chelsea.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's ever going to change, Glenn. I don't think that's ever going to change. Cedric is more of a professional. He's a better defender, but is he good on the ball? Not really. For example, you remember Callum Chambers' assist versus Watford to Lacazette. So is Chambers a better option? I don't know, but I'd rather have Chambers Cedric than Chambers Bellerin, for example, as our right back options. But yeah, like Cedric, I don't know that he's going. The reports coming out there are more reports coming out saying that he's willing to stay and fight for his place, and that he's come back in very good condition to the point where he's impressed the coaching staff. So maybe Cedric is likelier to stay. I don't see Cedric leaving, but Kolasinac, I see him leaving. It's just that if it's Fenerbahçe, then we're going to have to pay up a lot of his share of his salary. So yeah, I don't mind Kolasinac leaving.
I can tell you no one minds Kolasinac leaving, but Cedric, if you're going to sell him, how much do you think we should be getting for him?
I don't think we're going to get him for anything. I don't think we're going to get anything from him. Even 3 million, we're not going to get. Remember, we signed him on loan, and then we paid. What was it? We paid a small amount. Was it?
He was less
a loan fee. Yeah, we paid a loan fee, right?
Paid a loan fee.
Then we paid a loan fee only to sign him for free in the next 6 months, which was ridiculous. And considering he was injured, Glenn, so he didn't even play for us.
It's Arsenal again. But yeah, so that really worries me. If Cedric leaves, does that mean Bellerin stays?
Yeah, that's the worrying thing. I don't see Bellerin's. I don't see Cedric leaving. There's not enough reports for me. I kind of contest that. So yeah.
That's what we are hoping for.
Mm.
That's what we are hoping for. But let me know in the comment section, what do you think? That guy on screen, do you think if he leaves, does that mean Bellerin stays, or is there a situation where you could sell all three of them, him, Bellerin, and Niles? What do you think?
I think you can't rule it out. You never know, because a lot of these clubs are playing this late transfer tactic game. So we'll see. Maybe we'll be able to buy people late in the transfer window as well. Because if you're dealing with these late transfers, you're making sure you're selling well and then getting enough value, and also making sure that you can get a deal on the other side to bring someone in, and just start this transfer merry-go-round. So I don't know. I think most likely Maitland-Niles will stay, Cedric will stay, and guys like Bellerin and Kolasinac will leave.
Well, we wait to see. There's a lot of transfer news with Arsenal that we've not settled, and we have to wait and see. You mentioned Lucas Torreira earlier. Is this a guy you're willing to get rid of?
Yeah. I mean, Arteta doesn't want him, right? That's been made clear. He hasn't even come back from Madrid. He's still in Madrid training. What's that about? That's really weird. But yeah, Arteta's made it clear he's never really used him. And yeah, it's just, if Arteta doesn't want him, then I don't necessarily want him to stay. And I always thought he could be like the next Marco Verratti, because of his build and his tenacity and whatnot and his passing. But it looks like he's failed to impress the current coaching staff. So fair enough.
I don't. So sorry for Maddison being on screen. I think he's just trying to tempt us. My other screen froze, so just excuse that. So Torreira, I wanted to ask something about Torreira, something else. Is he even fit for the Premier League? That is what worries me. I don't think he's fit enough for the Premier League in terms of power and all that. I don't think he's good enough for the Premier League in terms of fighting with the likes of Bissouma and DD. I think energy-wise is okay, but power-wise, do you think he's fit enough for his size?
I thought he was, honestly. Remember, like, one of the best games he's had is when he partnered Xhaka in midfield versus Liverpool, and we drew 1-1. Lacazette scored that goal around. He took the ball around Alisson and scored from distance. So
yeah, damn it.
That was one of his best games, and that was one of Xhaka's best games as well. So it's a bit disappointing because I know he can do more, and he's still young. Like, I don't know that he's physically going to get any better, but yeah, he's still young. So it's a bit disappointing, but at the end of the day, I don't mind as long as, Arteta makes us believe that he knows what he's doing.
Let's wait and see. So let's go back to the Arsenal-Chelsea game the other day. I saw us playing from the back yet again. We lost some goals against, I think it was Millwall or something, or Watford from the back. And the other day I saw Chelsea having 3-on-1 situations against us. Do you think we need to change the tactics? Because for me, I said I want us to transform back to move to a back three. Because if you're going to play that same tactic with the same players, I don't think it can work out for us. Because pushing forward, and then Pablo Mari up against 4 players.
Pushing forward is not a tactical mistake. It's a holding individual mistake. He shouldn't have been pushing forward. Yeah, more than once.
Don't you think it's supposed to follow the striker?
Yeah, it's fine, but you have to be able to read it. If you follow the striker, Glenn, that's fine, right? If that's the tactic. Yeah. But you need to realize when your central midfielder has already covered him. Because essentially what Rob Holding is trying to do is make sure that this guy doesn't turn and find other options, which was what Tammy Abraham and Timo Werner were doing. So if you cut off passing lanes, Mapema, like early, then that's fine. But if Partey's already there, then push back. If Partey's already on the back of the striker, push back, give yourself some recovery, some distance, so that you don't get, you don't set up 1v1 situations or 3v1 situations for Pablo Mari and some of the other centre backs. So I think it's just Rob Holding, man. I don't think he has the tactical nous to play that role or execute those instructions.
But that is why I've also had
maybe Ben White will be.
We are going to have the same players. Holding is still here next season. We're still going to have the same players.
Yeah, but is he going to start over Ben White, really? He's not.
Probably. Definitely not. Yeah, definitely not.
50 million. Yeah. So I don't think we'll see the same issues. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Let's see how Tottenham goes. If the same thing happens, maybe Ben White will start over Holding now. Yeah, then you know it's a tactical issue, like you said. Yeah. But if not the same happens, then you know it's a Rob Holding issue. And I think it's the latter.
Because we were pushing forward. Like I also saw Partey and Elneny pushing forward. Tierney and Chambers were gone because we had the ball. I understand that, but when you lose the ball in that position, especially against City in the 3rd game of the season, you're going to be in trouble. So we have to wait. And also playing from the back. What about playing from the back?
The playing from the back was decent, to be honest. We played the ball out from the back a number of times quite well. Bernd Leno's distribution is still a bit sus, if I'm being honest. But you never know, that could easily come back. But he made, despite his one mistake in that game, he made some good saves, So let's see. I think our passing out from the back got even better when we had Lokonga on. Lokonga seems much more comfortable on the ball and much more accomplished than Elneny, for example. But yeah, Xhaka scoring from a set piece, huh? How's about that?
It deserves a new contract.
Yeah, sign the thing, Xhaka.
I can't believe he's going to be here for almost 10 years. Arsenal. So last topic, and then you take a couple of comments, and then we end it. I wanted to ask you something about WILLIAN. Just you can keep it short. So Willian is still at Arsenal. You have three options. What would you do with Willian? The first option is cancel his contract. Forget about him, cancel his contract, pay him the money and send him off like we did with Ozil and those kind of players. Just don't want him anywhere near Arsenal. That's his first option. Second option, keep him and play him. Just keep him and play him. Try him one season again. Just try him for one season. Option number three, keep him but send him to the reserves. Don't play him at all in any Premier League game. Which of those three options do you take?
I think it's very unlikely that we're gonna sell him to a club or even cancel his contract because of his high wages. 220 grand a week, that's a lot of money. So I think the most realistic thing is to try and send him out on loan, right? And then try and sell him again next year when he comes back, because he'll have only 1 year left on his contract. That's my hope. But the most realistic situation, Glenn, and unfortunately it is what it is, but is that he's going to stay. He's going to stay. He's going to be a squad player. He's going to take up minutes from the likes of Reece Nelson instead of, Pepe maybe. He's just gonna enjoy. He's just gonna retire at Arsenal. Imagine.
It is painful. So if you were the coach, what would you do? One of the three options.
If I was the coach, I'd take the hits, own up to my mistake, send him out on loan, never make that mistake ever again, and then have a much easier time selling him, fully selling him out to another club next season, because when a player has 1 year left on his contract, it's a much easier negotiation. So
Okay, let's take a few comments. Anu says good morning to you. Henry says good morning to you as well. Also, Anu says we need EPL proven players. So I'll also ask you that. Do you think we need EPL proven players, or do you think we need internationally acclaimed players, like signing players from Syria and La Liga who've done it internationally, or do you prefer the players who've done it in the Premier League?
I prefer the players who've done it in the Premier League, because they don't need time to adapt. They already know the language. It's much easier to assimilate into a new squad, into a new playing style when you've already been in England, because of language, because of just, culture, how to handle different cultures and whatnot. So when someone has to come and do it from the beginning, it's you're still waiting for, like, for example, Partey. Now is when we think Partey will have a great season compared to like last season. Whereas if you sign someone like Maddison now, you kind of already expect him to start having a good season. You want the goals, you want the set pieces, you want the assists. So yeah, I prefer Premier League proven players, but they have to be technically gifted as well. A lot of the Premier League players aren't as technically gifted as the Italian or Spanish league players. So.
Right, true. Benjamin says Cedric should stay. You can't keep Chambers and sell Cedric. Who do you think is the better one?
I think Cedric is overall probably better, but Chambers has better crosses. But do you want to be a crossing team? No. So Cedric for me.
That's Cedric. I think from last season, Chambers had a better season, but
he did.
I think Cedric overall, as you said, is better. What I fear about both of those players is injuries, man. I don't trust players who get injured every game. I do not trust them.
True.
I think you can get Torreira and Partey working together. Do you think it can work, Partey and Torreira?
Maybe if Torreira all his work is to do is to sit deep and just terrorize attacking midfielders, I think we could be able to do that. But there's just no indication from our manager that he has any faith in Torreira. So disappointing.
Okay, Therese says our starting 4 and 5 should be Gabriel and Ben White. So Gabriel is not back to full training yet, so he might miss the game against Brentford. So it's looking like Pablo Mari starts with White in the first game. So that is what you're going to have. Do you agree that Pablo Mari and White, or would you want to see Holding and White instead?
No. Pablo Mari and White. Pablo Mari also has better distribution than Holding. So yeah, Pablo Mari and White. Let's do that.
Okay, so I still do not agree with that. I don't think Arsenal will sign a right back this season. I do not. Bellerin is there. Chambers is there. Cedric is there. Niles is still there. Ben White can play as a right back. Tavares can play as a right back. We literally have 6 players who can play as right back.
Saka can play as a right back.
You can switch to a back three. Like, I do not think they will sign a right back. I would be very surprised. Even if we sold Cedric and Bellerin, I think they'll give Chambers that position and maybe Niles on the bench or something. I'd be very surprised if we signed a right back. So yeah, Saka, I do play FPL. It's in the blood. So just search for my other channel, Glen Kightley, Everything Football. I do the content there. So Zoom, last question. Tottenham this weekend. What's your prediction?
A prediction is a tough thing to ask for, Glenn, considering we have no idea how we're going to start.
We saw Tottenham playing yesterday. We've seen Arsenal playing as well.
So then, I'm assuming they're going to start strong. Maybe Harry Kane isn't going to start, so we're going to whip them 3-0.
3-0?
Yeah.
I do not trust a clean sheet there. I'm actually going to go for maybe if we win, likely maybe a 3-2, but I think it's in their stadium. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think unless Saka plays, if Saka plays, then we have something added. But I do not trust this team to get the job done that easily. Oh, are you part of the fans that want
Pepe hat-trick? Pepe hat-trick loading.
I'd love that. Are you part of the fans who want us to lose that game so that we buy players?
No, I can't. I don't, because that only creates panic. It doesn't create. It doesn't get the best out of the management's planning and just panic buys. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much for coming on. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to smash the like button if you're watching on Facebook, and make sure to follow the page, and on YouTube as well. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure you follow Zoom on Twitter at Zoom Omar. Any other thing you want to plug?
Yeah, also IG. You can follow me on Instagram as well. Follow back, and we'll talk Arsenal there. So yeah.
You talk Arsenal and other things. This guy has been doing content with Sean Freestyle, the best freestyle footballer in the world. So yeah, it's good to have you back.
Yeah.
1 week to the Premier League season. 1 week to the Premier League season. Let's hope we can get the job done. So as of now, thank you for watching. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.